Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today something a little different but close to my heart, and that is retro gaming. I want to have a look at the pros and cons of collecting retro video games. First off, let's define what we're talking about when we say retro games. Retro games are typically titles from older consoles like the NES, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, even up through early PlayStation and Xbox titles. For a lot of us, these games were a huge part of our childhood or teenage years. Remember your first time playing Super Mario Bros. Or Sonic the Hedgehog? That nostalgia is a big reason why collecting retro games has become so popular again. But collecting isn't always easy, so let's break down some of the major pros and cons of this lifestyle. Alright, let's start with the biggest reason people collect retro games: nostalgia. Owning these games lets you revisit memories and relive those early gaming experiences. It's like a time machine that brings back some of the most fun, carefree times of our lives. Whether it's replaying your favorite level in Mario or finally beating that old boss in Zelda, that's priceless. For me, there's nothing like popping in Streets of Rage on a real Sega Mega Drive. It's not just about playing the game, it's about the memories and emotions that come with it. There's something special about having a physical game in your hands. The artwork, the manuals, especially for those rare or imported versions, are like little pieces of history. Each cartridge and box has a story, and let's be honest, some of the artwork from back then was just so iconic. Another pro is potential investment value. Some games and consoles have become rare over time, and their prices have shot up. There are certain games, like Earthbound or Stadium Events, that are worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. If you're collecting carefully, you could actually make a profit someday. But remember, it's not a guaranteed investment. Playing on the original hardware is a totally unique experience. Emulators are great, but they can't fully replicate the feel of a CRT TV, the retro controllers, and the quirks of the old consoles. There's a special magic in experiencing a game the way it was originally intended, plus you really get the authentic feel of the game's difficulty and graphics. And finally, there's the community aspect. Collecting retro games connects you to a whole group of people who share your passion. There are conventions, forums, and local retro game stores where you can connect with fellow collectors, swap stories, and sometimes even find rare games to add to your collection. Now let's talk about the downside, and that would be the cost. Retro gaming is no longer a cheap hobby, especially if you're looking for specific or rare titles. Prices for popular consoles like the Super Nintendo or Sega Saturn have skyrocketed. Even some common games are pricier than they used to be, which can really add up. If you're building a big collection, you're going to need space. Physical games, consoles, and all the accessories can take up a ton of room. So, unless you're okay with a cluttered space or have a dedicated area, this can be a bit of a problem. And watch out for basement leaks. Another downside is that these consoles and games are getting old, like all of us, which means maintenance is inevitable. Old consoles can yellow with age, cartridges may need cleaning, and sometimes even repairs. Ever had a dead battery in a cartridge or a drifting joystick? That's not fun. Counterfeits are a real problem. With prices going up, there are a lot of fake games on the market. That means if you're not careful, you could end up buying a fake or reproduction game. The best way to avoid this? Buy from reputable sellers and learn how to spot counterfeit indicators, like poor quality labels or mismatched cases. And lastly, some games are just hard to find. Depending on where you live, it might be tough to track down specific titles, especially region-specific releases. You might spend months searching, or you could end up paying way over market value just to finally own that one game. So, is collecting retro games worth it? It really depends on what you're looking for. If you love gaming history, have a soft spot for nostalgia, or enjoy the thrill of the hunt, collecting retro games can be incredibly rewarding. But it definitely comes with its own set of challenges. For me, it's about the memories and the fun of owning these little pieces of gaming history. Like remembering the time I walked into a grey import store in my hometown and seeing bare knuckle for the Mega Drive on the shelf, the artwork caught my eye. Then playing the game and listening to the amazing soundtrack from Yuzo Koshiro, that's something I'll never forget. Are you into retro game collecting, or are you thinking about starting? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video and subscribe if you want to see more content. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.